Nice. All right, everyone. Hello again. It is Friday. Welcome to BND Live. It occurred to me that the only time this is actually an accurate website is when we are live, but that's okay. Other times it just points to Twitch. It's totally fine. As always, we have Erin as Agnes the Bard, Tim as Mr. Twizzard the Wizard, Stephen as Finric the Monk, and Chris as Paelias the Cleric will be joining us shortly. And I am Shawn, your ever faithful and humble DM. And without further ado, I think we'll get things started. All right, folks. Let's start with a little recap, shall we? Last Saturday, not Friday,
Crazy.
our heroes, the Ateum, awoke on Detal, the morning of Detal, which is a lot of shops were closed and the town's a little more sleepy. They went downstairs. They had promised Sir Galdinger that they would bring him up to speed with what they'd learned about his family and the history of his family. And so they discussed sort of the shady dealings, perhaps some pirating, some pillaging that the Galdingers had done in the past. He was not very happy with that news and decided that he needed to investigate further to see if his records at his manor house would confirm or deny the pieces of paper that you'd gotten from the logbook, which you at that point did not have. You folks discussed a couple different plans. There was the go to the town office plan and sort of loot Falreth's office. There was also go to his manor and see what's going on there. Ultimately, you decided to go check out the house because the pickle barrel room, as Paelias calls it, it was so enticing. And you went there, and Paelias decided to use the hat of disguise to become Falreth when you would approach the house and engage with Gregson, his faithful servant. Of course, he ended up traumatizing Gregson, who it turns out used to be the Reeve, the sort of mayor or ruler of Windbell, before Falreth systematically erased his memory from all the people in the town and killed his wife. So, after finally explaining what was going on to him and sort of calming him down with some tea, I believe you did bring tea, Finric. You explored the bottom of the house, and a secret passage was found, of course, which, upon some finagling to get it open, led you through a tunnel for quite a ways, and then sort of ramped up into a stump with a trap that you easily disarmed because you were on the correct side of it, and you emerged into basically just the edge of the Mistral Hills. Um, Turning around now, knowing where this tunnel led, you went back down. I believe some people also pillaged a bit, maybe got some jewels or maybe even some fool's gold in Plias's sake. And then you decided to return to the town office. Gregson stayed there with Henry the sheriff to sort of talk things over. And the Atean went up to Elsa's, where they found that she is in fact maybe interested in their amulets, but not really talking a lot, and certainly not interested in Twizzard's underwear. Some interactions later, she sort of uh, expressed interest in also some of the items that may be found in Falreth's office. And so you decided to go there. Now, I should mention at one point while Agnes was at the Winking Owl, she noticed and purchased. Actually, no, you traded, didn't you, for the dress fitting from Skye. the glass that when you look through it, it can show off traps. And it has perhaps a limited usage. And so as you went up the stairs to Falreth's office, you very carefully sort of opened the door and used the glass. And in fact, you did see what looks like some arcane blue tracings of a line crisscrossing the floor. And that is where we ended, and that is where we'll pick up. What would you folks like to do?
So this crisscrossing you said was kind of like a laser.
Yeah, think of it as sort of the in the modern heist movies of lasers, crossing the ground. So
who's got the highest athletics points? Can we do kind of the laser dance where you wiggle and limbo through it?
We can play that music.
You may be able to, jumping from chair to bookshelf to window ledge. You might be able to avoid it.
So it's only on the floor.
It's about a foot off the ground. Yes. It's as if someone sort of bent down and sort of traced this arcane energy line. You can also investigate it to see if you can learn more.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
I would like to investigate it.
I'd like to support his investigation.
All right, you're kind of too far back down the staircase, but if Agnes and Twizzard would
Well,
like to...
I can. I'm up there too. So
is that me or Finric?
Yeah, Twizzard, why don't you roll at advantage then?
Oh, I'm not too far away?
No, you're right behind me.
Oh, okay.
So then what's your investigation?
+5.
+5. So 19.
All right.
But that's even without the advantage.
I'm wearing my magnifying glasses.
Well, you should do it with advantage. Maybe you'll get even higher.
You want to try even higher? Go ahead, roll again.
Holy bananas.
Breaking 20 is always...
Yeah, no.
Yeah, 19 is good enough.
All right,
Yeah, 19.
so Twizzard sort of pushes Agnes to the side, and you're sort of pointing at different things that you notice about the line. And you can see that there's sort of what looks to be a focal point of it near the base of the desk, so further back into the room over here. And there's what appears to be sort of a rune of some kind, a glyph of some kind carved in the back of the desk. And the sort of arcane energy lines spread out from that.
Do we know of any guards that no one likes?
He wants a sacrifice of sorts. Well, I feel. Could I make a phone call to Skye to ask if she might know what this is?
Sure, yeah. You want to ring her up on your... It's about noon, I would say, on Detal, so you could ring her up on
Yeah.
You're best friends now?
Yeah, I'm gonna ring her up on the sending stone. Yeah, we are. We're besties.
Yeah, once you fit someone for address, I feel like that's grounds for besties. So after a little bit of a pause, you hear, hello?
Hi, Skye. It's Agnes.
Oh, yes. Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
We are in Falreth's office, but we're afraid to advance any further because there seems to be a rune carved in his desk and are creating these lines of maybe protection or a ward or something. We were just curious if you had ever heard of anything like this.
Ah, yes. Well, I have. So you're saying they're all tracing back to a glyph or a ward of some kind?
To a single point, yes. It's carved on the desk.
It does sound like it is probably loaded with either in some kind of incendiary or even I've heard tell of powerful wizards being able to load spells into such a glyph, and were it to be set off, whatever the spell would trigger.
Okay, so if we were to do something like dispel or remove magic, would that be something that would work?
I feel like that is worth a try. I would recommend caution.
Okay. All right.
Sorry,
well,
I can't be more help.
Yeah, no, that's more than what more than we were hoping for. So thank you. All right.
How far away would you say that desk is from where Agnes is?
5,
Less than 30
10,
feet?
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 feet.
40 feet. 40 dwarf feet or 40 human feet?
40 in the realm of D&D feet.
I don't. Yeah. Please don't throw Finric.
Well, I have a gust spell that can move objects weigh no more than 5 pounds. Maybe I can fling it into the corner. It can point lasers at itself in the corner.
Wait, fling the desk?
No, the little rune.
Oh, it is
it's
carved into the desk.
Oh, it's carved in the desk. You think that desk weighs more than 5 pounds?
I think it does, yes.
If they don't make balsa wood desks in this time period?
It looks like a very fine oaken desk, probably.
Okay. Well,
Sounds fun to me.
clearly, this is something that was not here when I was in the room with Falreth. So it's either it's there when he's not there, or maybe he put it on before he left his room. I don't know, but
So just to describe
Can we-
my terrible drawing here. So there's basically 2 windows in the back, 2 windows in the front. This is the shelf with the sort of decanters and potions. Agnes, you drank and drank one of them. He drank a different one. And then over here, there's sort of the workbench area with the various, like a little, type of Bunsen burner, mortar and pestle, that sort of thing. Then bookshelves, and also underneath the workbench, there's sort of shelves with the different accoutrements that you might create potions or tinctures with. And then the sort of central desk is there.
all right. Well, I think our best bet is to somehow destroy the glyph.
How about we get Unseen Servant to go just run through the laser field and he sets it off, and maybe it's a one-time trigger. Though would it send him off if he's unseen? Maybe we put a robe on him.
I mean, he's not really a thing. Can he?
But he can carry something through it. that sets
I'm
it off.
wondering. I'm wondering if the ruin is ruined, if it would still hold magic.
A multi-use thing.
Well, no. Like if we were to carve it into a different shape, or if we were to scratch it out.
We have to get over there.
I know, but maybe an unseen servant could do something like that
If he can cross the room.
if it can cross the room.
I'm casting Unseen Servant.
All right. Where are you casting it?
In the middle of the laser field. No, wait,
Over
right
by
next,
the desk.
right next
Why
to
don't
me.
you cast it so that it's on the
Atop
desk?
the desk.
I was gonna have him move over there. I didn't think I could reach over there.
You can.
All right.
You could. It has a range of 60 feet. You could cast it on top of the desk. You could cast it wherever you want, and basically in the room.
All right, on the desk.
On the desk, and then is there any kind of like utensils, pens, quills?
Yeah, there's
Letter
there's
opener.
an inkwell with some with a couple of quills in it.
All right.
Maybe he can just scribble.
All right, I'm gonna cast him on the desk there.
All right. You can tell that he's on the desk.
Can we get him to dump an inkwell on it or something?
Did you mark that spell slot?
I sure did.
Somewhere.
I'm just real slow.
Mm-hmm.
First, there you go.
I did it.
Well, I mean, you just cast a spell. You'd be a little drained for a moment.
Yeah, thank you, Finric.
Yeah.
Invisible, mindless, shapeless, medium force. All right. He's over there on the desk.
That's it for me, guys. It's all you.
It's pouring that inkwell over.
Can we get him to dump an inkwell on that rune?
Okay. So he dumps an inkwell on that rune.
Looks like it's safe, guys. Who's going first?
Now, is my device one that I can continually look through the whole time?
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that you still have it up. So
Right.
if
So then I
you
would be able
notice
to tell
you notice
when
that
years.
the lines are still there.
Okay. We either need to do more damage or we need to take another path or another.
Can we get the unseen servant to scratch it with the quill pens? Those are terrible scratching things.
Maybe open a drawer.
What's that going to do?
Maybe look for a knife.
Are these beams are radiating out of the rune?
It's sort of like the individual threads of arcane energy are tied to it, like they emanate from it.
What if we just cover it?
Oh, like putting a mirror and reflecting it back on itself?
Well, you could take a drawer out and just cover it.
I mean, the ink did flow over it. It does not seem to have affected the lines.
Can we get the servant to get off the table and flip it?
Flip the table?
Yeah, flip the desk.
So that the rune faces, like, say, up or down?
Yeah.
Maybe ideally up, because I don't know who's downstairs.
We'll find out.
It has a strength of 2.
No. All right, it's not a balsa wood
Let's
desk.
see. Fetching things, cleaning, mending, folding clothes, lighting fires, serving food, pouring wine.
Well, pouring wine is like ink.
That's like pouring the desk.
Yeah, I would allow you to do a strength check to see if it can do it. Where would you like it to stand when it does it?
Right in front of it.
On the chair?
On the chair. Right in front of it on the chair.
Okay, so it sort of jumps down onto this chair.
Don't touch the floor. Floor is lava.
All right, it's on the
I
chair.
wouldn't have touched it in a
Well, I
center.
guess if it's like that, it would be tipping it down, right?
So is it tipping it forward?
Well, no, I think we're assuming that the glyph is on the front end of the desk facing us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we want the front end of the desk to point upwards,
So he
so
wants
we
to
have to
tip it
tip it backwards
back
towards.
towards himself.
All right, hold on
How
one
wide is the
moment.
spread, actually? If it is facing upwards, does it just, like, fill the whole freaking room again?
Here we can
Go around,
discuss that with
just
Chris
that.
Foley as well.
He could just nudge it. He could just pivot the desk. Doesn't have to flip it over. Flip face the windows. Hey!
Hey!
Otherwise,
Hi, how are ya?
pretty good.
Time.
And it doesn't seem like it's going past the door. So it seems like it's confined to the room.
So, Finric, we're trying to disarm the booby trap in Falreth's office.
Booby trap in the office. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like a laser field in there, and there's this rune on the desk that's pretty much shooting the lasers out.
Oh, okay.
None of us really want to walk over there. So we sent an unseen servant over there, and he double clicked on it. It didn't do anything. So now we're going to try and move the desk somehow if he's strong enough.
Okay.
Or she. I've never seen my servant.
It's unseen.
Yeah. Could be like a duck or a sheep or something. I don't know.
We could just magic missile grease combo.
We could magic missile the desk to this pieces. I could also try to cloud of daggers it, maybe slash up the glyph that way too.
All right, if each of us cast all of our spells at once at the desk, we might be in good shape here.
That almost always works.
This I see nothing going wrong here. So do we want to try and flip it backwards?
Are we still trying to reorient it? Or are we going to try to magic missile slash cloud of dagger slash I don't know what other things we can hit with it.
Can we just put on the disarm spell? Does somebody have that disarm spell?
I don't.
I don't.
Dispel magic, I believe, is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, it exists. Okay, now let's pick one up.
Oh,
Is
it
this something that
exists.
we're going to have to go and buy? And then Mr. Twizzard's going to have to learn it?
You gotta spend more money.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
All right. The unseen servant flips the desk backwards towards himself, or tries to.
We need a friend check.
No sweat. What does that mean? How much strength does he have?
He has 2.
Oh,
How many unseen servants do you have?
it'd be a duck. I don't know. Can I just keep casting him? Can I get a team of unseen
I believe
servants?
Unseen Servant is a concentration spell. Is that true?
Just concentrate harder.
It doesn't say. It just says 1 hour.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's not. Sure.
1 act.
Sure.
Control.
If you want to create another Unseen Servant, I guess you can.
Let's just get 6 of them and carry that desk out of there.
I mean, I can make an unseen servant as well.
There are so many things we could have done with an army of unseen servants.
Not much. Serve us bacon grease.
Yeah, carry Falreth out of there. He'd be like, "What is going on?" He'd just be brought out of town and dumped in a lake.
So then, Shawn, how many unseen servants do you think will be necessary to move that desk?
Well, let's see if we can get one to do it.
I would say that the DC for a single Unseen Servant to flip the desk is going to be 20.
I've rolled that like
So I'd say for every Unseen Servant you add, it probably drops 2 or 3.
no sweat. Here we go. Here comes 20.
Well, they cost spell slots.
Oh, to get him to move something?
No, you're
No.
to make
The
another
cat-
Unseen Servant.
No one.
Oh, well,
Oh,
he's not.
you were just rolling. I thought you meant here come 20 Unseen Servants.
No.
Oh yeah, I would be excited about that. Yeah, no, the desk probably didn't move. I could tell you that.
Yeah.
That was 6 or 9. The hell was it? A 6.
It was a 6.
That was a 9.
All right, so
It was a 9?
so Twizzard, you can see the Unseen Servant, and he's like, he tries to pull up on it.
I hope he's looking up at me as he fails, because I'm just gonna be like,
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tim, you'd have to learn Dispel Magic then. Unless we want to try to Magic Missile and I can use Cloud of Daggers.
we're gonna blow this desk up. I hope he doesn't have like flammable things in it.
Why don't we just walk over there and see what happens?
So that's another plan too. That's why I was trying to find someone that no one really liked, like a guard.
Where's that guy, that fisherman guy?
Oh, come on.
Nate
Jenkins?
Jenkins?
I feel like that we put them through enough already, but this could be a potentially deadly trap.
Let's get Skye over.
Well, this guy's busy.
Not busy enough for this.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
Maybe Elsa.
we could ask
Yeah.
Elsa.
Throw a cat in there.
Yeah, can we just throw like a shoe or something? Like maybe something heavy will disarm it.
What have I got in my possessions?
Do you have your rug still? Can we put the
No.
rug on top of it?
Not the rug. Not the rug.
You're willing to sacrifice Nate or Jenkins, but not the rug.
I do not know if I still have my block of cheese.
It says round block of cheese. You've used it as a light a couple of
It
times.
says it, but for some reason I thought it got away
It
from
got
me.
pinched.
Oh, it
That's
got
all.
pinched. So I
It's
still
probably
have
getting
one.
a little funky, but
It makes a good light.
All right, I'm gonna throw the funky cheese into the laser field.
okay, you're gonna throw the funky cheese into the laser field. So you toss the cheese, and you see it, and it's almost as if you're watching it in slow motion, as it flies through the air. Paelias is peeking around Twizzard. Twizzard is peeking around Agnes. The cheese hits the ground in between two lasers, sort of does a little bit of a bounce, rolls, and breaks the arcane line, and they unravel from that point, and they all go into the glyph, and a fireball explodes outwards. The heat from it pushes you back, and you are outside of its range. However, everything in the room is now on fire. If anyone wants to try to grab something, you can roll a d20, and I'll tell you what you can grab from the room before the whole thing goes up.
All right.
Oh, man. I don't even have my D20.
All right, let's see. Straight D20, or is this some sort of check that?
Like it's not investigation. It's just
Let's say probably athletics or acrobatics,
dear.
whichever your choice.
Acrobatics.
Yeah, basically you're trying to like run in, grab something, and get the hell out of there.
Okay.
I got 14.
16.
Can I use athletics?
Sure.
Okay, then I got 2.
Yeah.
Oh, athletics. Then I have 15. Sorry.
And then I have 7.
Okay, so wait.
One at a
What
time.
was the 15?
I had 15. Wizard.
All right. All right, Twizzard, you run like straight for the bookshelf because you want like some arcane stuff, and you see in front of you as the sort of inferno inches closer to them, you see sort of 4 scrolls, and you're probably only going to have time to grab one before they burn up. One of them has sort of a theatrical mask icon on it. Another has a fist icon. Another has a sort of grimacing mouth, like a red-rimmed, red lipstick grimacing mouth. And the last one is wrapped up very tightly in twine. Which one do you grab? Mask, fist, mouth, or twine?
Yeah, I'll take the mouth one.
All right, you grab the mouth and you head back toward the stairs. All right, who is the next highest?
Well, I got a 16.
Oh, you got a 16. Okay. Finric, as you rush in, you're looking around, and what catches your eye is this sort of ornate leather bag that's on one of the lower shelves over here. And actually, it's good you got a 16 because you guys are packed in pretty tight. So let's see. I'm going to say that Lily is staying the hell out of this fiery inferno. And so you see this sort of ornate leather bag, and it has different colors and some rougher, some smoother tanned leathers that almost make a mosaic of a face on the bag. And you're like, that looks awesome, and you grab that. Paelias, what'd you get?
So if you take all the numbers of the dice that I rolled, it still only adds up. From 7 dice, it still only adds up to 19. I got a natural 1 on my 20. So plus 1 with my athletics gives me 2.
All right, sounds good. You run over, and Agnes, what did you get?
I got a 7.
You got a 7. Okay.
Everyone's pushing me out of the way.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. So you see Agnes, you see a sort of a leather purse. You sort of like look over the desk and slam open a drawer and like just grab this leather purse. Meanwhile, Paelias, you see this like ornate skull sitting on one of the other shelves, and you're like, "That's awesome." And so you grab the skull and give me a sleight of hand check as you grab this skull.
Is it a fool's gold skull? All right, this one's better. Do I get to add something?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand?
Sleight?
No, you do not.
Okay, 18.
All right, you managed to keep it from breaking, basically, and as you like stuff it in a pouch. And then the fiery, it's just catching the whole building, and you all get the heck out of Dodge.
Hey, I do have prestidigitation, which can knock out small campfire.
This is basically a rating. Like, this would have done... This is...
This would kill us.
Yeah, this would have done 8d6. So that's at full strength. If you dexterity saved out of it, you might have halved that, but could have definitely killed some of you. So you guys rush down the stairs, and the entire, you can feel the heat flooding down the staircase behind you as sort of these decanters of alcohol explode. The flame is colored with various colors as the arcane elements on the tables sort of spark and shoot out. Arcane energy as they're consumed by this energy, and you all pile into the first floor, and you see Henry the sheriff and Gregson just like looking at you like, WTF? What's going on?
I think we should leave the building. Is there anyone locked up in the cells?
No.
All right, let's get out of here. This place is going up in flames.
All right, so you guys all exit, and as you exit, you see like a timber fall, and as it falls, a flame comes from the second floor and starts to seep and eat some of the things there. You see Gregson.
It's not going to spread to Leaf Bottoms Market, is it?
What's that?
It's not going to spread to Leaf Bottoms Market, is it?
You see, as you're flooding out, you see Gregson run over to a chest of drawers, and he sort of opens it up, and he like gathers this big heavy tome, and he starts to walk it toward the door. Henry also reaches in and grabs another one, and they follow you out. So now you're all outside, and the fire is raging. It's raging pretty badly. What would you like to do?
And the good news is Elsa can't get any of that stuff now.
Okay, cool. So Agnes, you go over, tell Elsa that we don't need her help anymore, and the office is all hers.
Henry.
I'm not gonna tell her.
Henry is blowing a whistle that he has and yelling for the town's guard, and Gregson is heading for the blacksmith shop.
They're not gonna like us now.
Gregson, what's up?
Can the unseen servant help with
We've
the
got to fight the fire.
bucket brigade?
The unseen servant's still in there.
Oh,
No.
He's dead. He's dead.
Oh.
Uh,
You didn't see him. Get him out.
I'm gonna say if you want him to follow you out, you can have him follow you out.
Yes, get him out.
So
I'm
let's
going
see.
over
So
there
this,
to collect your books.
so
You
this
got
is
you
this
got
is
them.
this is the office right here. It does butt up against Leaf Bottoms Market. There is that alleyway, which is maybe 5 or 6 feet between it and Leaf Bottoms Market. There's also a stable next to it there,
And the ringing bell.
and the ringing bell is there too. Yes.
All right, we
Put-
got to put this fire out.
Putting this fire out would be advantageous.
Let's do it magically. Let's cast water spell.
We don't have that.
There is a spell to conjure water, but I don't think. Well, I don't know. Maybe you have it.
We should really get some spells.
Nope. I can cure wounds. So yeah, I'm gonna ask how I can help and start throwing buckets of water wherever I can.
I can frostbite. Will that help?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, if you just want to start hitting things with frostbite.
Yeah, let's throw some frostbite at the fire.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a
I
cantrip.
think anything is not.
It's a cantrip. You could just keep shooting it. I'm fine with that.
1d6, or do I have to roll the d20 first?
Let's just say that you're sort of loading frostbites. How would you like to use it?
Let's shoot it at the fire.
Maybe you should protect some of the other buildings.
Yeah, so like the outskirts of the fire where it's trying to spread.
Okay.
Contain it.
Yeah.
All right. So you sort of. Yeah. So the building just north is brick. It's probably pretty safe. It has a slate roof. It's brick. Leaf Bottoms Market is probably that, and the stable are probably the most vulnerable buildings next to it. The other two are brick or stone.
Our horse can be in there.
Okay, so you're going to go to the stable and start frosting up the side of it that's facing the building. All right. Finric, Agnes, what are you going to do?
I'm okay with helping with the bucket brigade.
Okay, yeah. Gregson has basically gone to the blacksmiths, and he is sort of organizing him as Henry brings up a bunch of town's guard, and they all start. The blacksmith basically has this giant cistern of water in his shop that he uses to replenish his various things that he quenches things with and stuff like that. So they're sort of taking buckets. So you join that bucket brigade. Twizzard, Finric, what are you guys doing?
I'm joining the bucket brigade.
All right.
Is the unseen servant still going?
What's that?
Is the unseen servant still going?
For now.
Yeah, he's still going.
Yeah, he's drafted into the bucket brigade
Okay.
in place of me.
Maybe you should.
How do you pass the bucket to an unseen servant?
Just hold it out into the empty space and let go.
Twizzard, can you maybe run and get more townsfolk to help?
All right. I'll go run around the town and yell.
Also, leave your pants here.
Yeah, I was wearing them.
Wait, so Paelias, you have the cantrip Frostbolt?
Yeah, frostbite.
Frostbite. Okay. Okay. Do you also have thaumaturgy?
Yeah, is that helpful?
Yeah, that can put out fires to a lesser degree, but and then
Oh,
Twizzard.
better than prestidigitation.
Well, if he was to use some prestidigitation, would that be helpful?
No.
Absolutely. Let's check it out. So it
Or like campfire candles.
I know, but still, you could do a small area.
yeah,
before it gets worse?
You can snuff out campfire. So basically, you could let's say you sort of you go over to Leaf Bottoms Market, and any fire that sort of bridges the gap between the two buildings, you can like put out individual. So yeah, so I'll say that between Paelias and you, the frostbite and the thaumaturgy and the prestidigitation, you guys are sort of keeping it from spreading to the neighboring buildings. And meanwhile, the Bucket Brigade is working hard to sort of tamp it down and save what they can of the office. So basically, this is hot, sooty, sweaty work, and you basically spend the next hour with more people sort of getting water from nearby buildings, bringing up some seawater and whatever they can carry it in. Paelias and Twizzard, you're just basically exhausted from, these are cantrips that you have, sort of the arcane way of casting them is so ingrained in your memory that you can do it without effort really, but it's like casting them non-stop for an hour is definitely, you'd probably each take a point of exhaustion. In fact, actually probably all of you would take a point of exhaustion, which basically means you'll have disadvantage on ability checks until you've had a long rest. But that said, you do manage to contain the fire from spreading to the nearby buildings and the sort of first floor, because a large part of the town office is stone, but the part of the roof has collapsed on the second floor. Basically, everything in Falreth's office is a charred mess. The cells themselves are fine. Any bedding or slim as it was has been destroyed, but to a large degree, Henry's office and his desk is sort of you managed to douse enough of that and contain it. So overall, it was about as good as you could hope for, and you definitely saved the surrounding buildings.
I think I lost my cheese though.
Yes, your cheese.
But it was getting moldy.
Your cheese is in a melted mess. So after all this effort, Galdinger was also there helping.
Not like a big fire to get a town together.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Everyone loves a fire.
We're roasting s'mores.
Lily could be doing that.
Have those been invented?
Probably not.
Yeah, so a lot of townsfolk, you see Dagus, you see two blonde-haired women who, Paelias, you would recognize from your time at the Singing Sisters the other day. You see Skye there. Noticeably, you see the, where did my... Agnes, you would recognize the blacksmith and the person who ran the sort of hardware store. Noticeably absent is Elsa. And there are a bunch of people who you don't recognize. Finric may recognize Joan and Frederick, Leafbottom, two halflings who run the market. There's a small gnome who kind of looks like a nerd. If a gnome could ever look like a nerd, I'm not sure what that means because we're all nerds, but you get the feeling that this gnome is a nerd. Elliot Fally, the human from the hardware store.
Bookish for a gnome.
Really tall, sort of built person who'd come up from the bolt builders. A half orc had come out of the fish works. Just a huge beast of a man. Skye from Olivia from Piender's books. She's there. Basically, anyone who could help is all there. And at the end of it, Dagus and Skye and Callie and Sally from the Singing Sisters basically all invite everyone to come and have some drinks on the house. So, where would you folks like to go?
Drinks on the house.
You can go to the Ringing Bell, you can go to the Singing Sisters, or you can go to the Winking Owl.
Where are those blonde going?
What's that?
Where are those blonde girls going?
That's Callie and Sally. They're from the Singing Sisters. You were there the other night, and you had the sort of house drink, which was what made your eyes glow.
Yeah, that was fun. What's that?
Yeah, still thirsty. So why don't we
Is there 2 weeks forward?
if we go to the Winking Owl, we could maybe ask Skye about the things that we saved from Falreth's office.
All right, so who's going where?
Well, I think that although the offer to get free drinks from Dagus is kind of super nice, I feel like we have been abusing him a little bit.
Fair.
Saved his inn.
Well, I know, but let him give free drinks to anyone else. We'll go. I mean, I'll go to the Winking Owl or the Singing Sisters just to show my face somewhere else, I guess.
Wait, so where's everyone going?
Well, I know that Mr. Twizzard is probably not going to want to go to the Winking Owl, so maybe we'll split up to the Winking Owl and to the Singing Sisters.
You're sending Twizzard and I to the Singing Sisters?
I'll go to the Singing Sisters.
The Winking Sisters.
The Winking Sisters. Oh, that's a better place. The Winking Sisters.
The Winking Sisters.
All right, so Twizzard and Paelias go to the Singing Sisters. Finric and Agnes go to the Winking Owl with Skye. Dagus goes back with Galdinger and Lily. And Agnes, you notice a gray cat following Twizzard and Paelias.
Ooh, that darn cat.
That cat wants a good time. It's coming for a free drink. Free milk.
Good times, Singing Sisters.
That's why Elsie's not even there.
Do I know about that too, or is it just an Agnes thing?
She has the highest passive perception of you, and she's the only one that noticed.
Oh, okay.
But
So Agnes, what's new?
I don't trust that Elsa. Her cat has been popping up in the strangest places, and now she's gone to the Singing Sisters with the 2 screwballs over there.
Screwballs.
I don't know if we should leave them to their own devices.
We will be just fine.
Well, we'll see. Maybe Skye can tell us something about our Falreth spoils.
Yeah.
And maybe we can rejoin our compatriots.
All right, I'm just going to send a message through the sending stones
Okay.
to Twizzard and to Paelias saying, just watch out for that darn cat.
all right, fair enough.
All right, so we're heading over to the Winking Owl.
Okay, and you're actually walking with Skye, so you could talk to her if you want.
So
You're all sort of covered in soot and sweaty.
She's not wearing her best dress, is she?
No, she is definitely not.
So, Skye.
Hi.
Despite the fire, we didn't lose everything from Falreth's office. We were able to grab a few things.
Oh, that's good. That's good news. What did you get?
And everything that's not there is yours, right?
No, Elsa.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
awesome.
This leather bag.
Ah, and so as you're walking, she sort of takes it into her hand and she's looking at it. Very fine, very fine. Are you aware of what this is?
I'm not. I was hoping you might be able to tell me.
Yes, this is what is commonly known as a bag of holding.
Ooh,
The
What is a
inside
bag?
is much larger than you would imagine.
like the TARDIS.
I don't know what that is, but the inside is larger.
Is it safe to open?
It should be.
I look inside the bag.
You,
Reach around.
what's that? Yeah, you read your. Let's see. I actually forget exactly how the bag of holding works. Hold on one second. I don't know if you need to know what's in it or if you can just dump everything out. So she describes to you that it basically has a large interior space, much larger than its outside dimensions. It can hold 500 pounds. It's roughly 2 feet in diameter at the mouth and 4 feet deep. It cannot exceed a volume of 64 cubic feet. And the bag always weighs 15 pounds regardless of what's inside it.
It's like Mary Poppins' bag.
Yeah. She warns you not to basically tear it or pierce it. Never, she says, never put a bag of holding in a bag of holding.
Interesting.
That's so meta.
Yeah, that's going to go in it.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah, you can turn it inside out and just dump
Now-
everything out of it.
You said that it's as deep as 4 feet. Can Finric go inside of it?
So I mean, he would fit, but there's limited air inside the bag.
My fear, of course, would be that I get in the bag and somehow the bag gets damaged and I'm scattered across the astral plane. So maybe the best bet is once we get to the winking owl, I will hold it low to the ground and then turn it inside out. Low to the ground so that if anything fragile is inside, I don't shatter it on the floor.
All right. So as you get to the winking owl, there's a couple other people with you, and sort of Skye, goes inside to sort of get some refreshments for people. This is probably the non-alcoholic group of people, basically the ones who enjoy teas. Olivia, for instance, from Peanders came with you, and also who else was it? A male dwarf with sort of bright red hair also goes into the winking owl.
Not me.
So let's see. So you're dumping it out upside down, outside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A sort of a fine gold necklace with a red sort of pendant being clasped by 2 golden hands falls out.
Okay.
And one other thing. A sort of it looks like 2 sort of sticks tied at either end falls out, sort of tied together. There's something in between them, but it's all like tied tight.
I think I'll be asking Skye about what these are.
All right, so you guys go into the winking owl.
Yep. And I also have a leather purse.
Yes, and by the heft of it and the jingling sound, you realize it is full of coins. Specifically, 120 gold.
Very nice. I might buy myself something nice.
All right, so let's flash over to Paelias and Twizzard, who are entering the Singing Sisters. You notice right away that this is sort of maybe a little more upscale tavern than the Ringing Bell. The wood is a little more polished. The decanters of liqueurs behind the bar are a little shinier, a little more intricate. There's also a stage at one side, and Callie goes behind the bar, and Sally sort of goes over and starts checking out some things around the stage. There are a few other people who wander in with you, and yeah, do you guys want to look around, give it a...
For the free drinks I was promised.
Free drinks.
All right, so you sort of call out for free drinks, and Callie behind the bar, you can see, so she's sort of pulling down just sort of straight mugs of ale for people, and she sort of moves around and starts handing them out. Sally also helps her, and you are in there with...
Free drinks.
Yeah, so they bring over some ale and set it down. You're sitting at a table with a tabaxi. So this is sort of a cat person.
A cat person?
Yes, it is a race of people who... Cat person, basically, if you're not familiar. Paelias, you would have met some. Twizzard, give me a history check. I'm not sure you would have met any being from Torrin.
I don't remember meeting any cats. 4. Oh, wait, do I have history points? 7.
Yeah, you've heard of the tabaxi, but you've never met in person. Paelias, in your travels, you have definitely met some. And there's another woman with sort of longer gray hair at the table with you.
Ugh, so a cat person and an old lady with gray hair.
That's correct.
Hey, cat person. Can I pet you?
She's sort of like... She was just about to take a sip, and when you say that, she sort of puts it down and looks at you. Would you like to step outside and try?
Oh!
I was just going to do it in here.
She sort of turns away from you, goes back to her beer.
Cats.
All right. No cats. Who else? Who's the other? The gray-haired woman?
Yep.
Yeah, that was yours, class.
All right. Yeah, my turn.
There you go. Here's the cat
Hey.
person.
How are you doing? I don't think I've seen you around here before.
No, I don't suppose you have.
Are you from this town?
Yes, I live over there. She sort of points vaguely. You can tell she's sort of like exhausted, yes, maybe also a little shell-shocked from the whole experience.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy fire, huh?
Yes, were you the one protecting the stable?
Yeah, absolutely. Horses are my friend.
Well, you are a friend of mine then. I am Elnoth. I run the livery here in town.
The livery?
Livery. Horses?
Is that the library?
Horses. No, the livery.
Livery, oh.
Yes, horses.
Oh, okay, yeah, great. Well, that's awesome. So, is that your stable then?
I do tend to it. That is the one used by the town office. It's also shared by the Ringing Bell.
Oh, okay. You know, I had the fortune to meet one of those horses. recently.
Did you?
I really liked that horse. It was a really nice looking horse.
It was a horse from that stable?
I believe so. No, maybe a different one. No, might have been a nearby one.
What was that?
Slightly more north. Maybe a little west. There are other stables, I guess.
There are. I mean, most of the large manor houses have their own personal stables. A bit smaller, of course, but.
I see. Well, I do like riding horses.
Well, I can get behind that. And she sort of cheers at you.
Cheers!
The cat person looks back at Twizzard, and she says, "Well, I suppose I owe you a thanks for protecting leaf bottoms."
The cat person says that?
Yep.
I say, well, I'm not so much into horses, but I am into cats. I give a sly wink.
How many times do I have to say no before you'll stop winking at me?
You could have said, "You're welcome, Twizzard."
You're welcome, Twizzard.
Better.
She sort of looks over at Paelias, looks back at Twizzard. Where are you two from?
Oh, we're from. We're not from around here. We traveled a great distance to come here.
I can tell you're not from around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mountain
I would tell you where I'm from, but I don't remember, to be honest. Torin, I think.
long time ago.
You are from North Gorson. No, wait, no, you're from. Wait, hold on. No, you're from Lucknow.
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 You been there?
I traveled near there when I was younger.
Oh yeah. Beautiful area over there.
It has been many years. I put many of my traveling days behind me.
Yeah. Yeah, I still like to travel. Definitely try to get a lot of travel in. You know, you're never too past your prime to travel.
Well, that's a very good outlook.
Thanks.
May I ask
So, yeah.
what are you traveling for?
Well, we're on the quest. We're on a quest to have adventures.
A quest, you say?
Yeah. Yeah, we like to find towns in need and see what they need and then help them with it.
Were you perhaps involved in the leaving of Reeve Kippen?
The Falreth? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, we got rid of him. We sent him on his way, sent him packing.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how are you feeling since you left?
I mean, I never had much dealings with him. He doesn't come by the church very often.
Oh, sure. Well, I think the town's better off without him.
I dare say you're right.
He was a menace. You know what he was doing? He was poisoning the people with a liquid that basically made them do what he wanted.
Indeed. Well, that's very troubling. Very troubling. I must consult the Dawnfather.
Who's that?
Why? You haven't heard of the Dawnfather? Pelor? The god?
I have. I worship a different way.
You what?
I worship a different way.
Well, but you're a man of worship.
Mm-hmm. What?
Wonderful. You must come by the Church of the Rose.
Okay. Yeah. Where is it?
It's and she sort of gestures up the hill.
Oh.
It is basically the only really visible church in this whole town. It is sort of at the top of that green sward of grass.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thank you. We will make our way up there.
Yes, do come visit. I must bid you farewell. I'm afraid I just need to get out of these dirty clothes, frankly. Good day to you.
Pleasure to meet you.
She sort of leaves. So you're still at the table with Elnoth. She's an elf, long gray hair. She's the purveyor of the livery.
Oh, I thought we were talking to that person the whole time.
No, you were talking to the cat person.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that was that person? I thought it was the gray-haired one too.
Yeah, sorry, my accents aren't that different.
Well, they're all
My accents aren't great to begin with, and then you try to have me do 2 different female accents? No, I'm sorry, my skills have not progressed that far yet.
I feel like our humble DM that they're all Windbell locals, so they would all have the same accent.
I like that.
There you go.
I like
Sounds
that
right.
in-world explanation.
While we're
Let's
sitting here,
flash
I'm
back,
looking around real
meanwhile,
quick to see if there's a cat.
to Agnes and Twizzard. So you folks are in the Winking Owl. Skye has been sort of serving some restorative tea, and she's put out a plate of scones that people are partaking of.
definitely drinking some tea and eating some scones. They are delicious.
And Agnes, you at least recognize Olivia Piander from Piander's books. Finric, were you there when she bought the books? I can't remember.
No, we had split up.
Okay. And then there's another dwarf in there besides Skye with sort of bright
The male
red hair.
dwarf with the bright red hair.
What's that?
The male dwarf with the bright red hair.
You're not sure if it's male or female.
All right, bright red hair.
Yep.
Cool. Well,
You guys are just
Agnes?
sort of sipping some tea with them.
I'll talk with Olivia and ask her if she has any spell books that a wizard might be interested in. Since we've lost pretty much, Falreth's stash.
Interesting. I might have some arcane scrolls in the back. I think I could probably look. Could you come back? Either tomorrow or the next day when things have calmed down a bit. I'll see what I can find. I'll pull some out for you.
Thank you. I'll come by with my wizard friend and we'll see if you found anything that he might be able to learn from.
Excellent.
Olivia, was it?
Yes, that's right.
Finric.
Very nice to meet you.
I wanted to ask you your thoughts about Elsa.
Well, she is reclusive. She is crotchety. But that said, she has said a few nice words to me here and there. Every time I sort of say hi to her in the street, she will nod, usually, perhaps. She has not wronged me in any way, but not the most sociable of people, if you get my meaning.
I get the sense that she's on her own side rather than anyone else's, but I wasn't sure if she did in fact have any alliances or allies that maybe she's not forthcoming about, but that maybe people rumor about or know about.
She has been there for as long as I've been alive.
Has she aged at all?
Maybe a few more wrinkles. Olivia's a human, by the way.
Okay.
Maybe a few more wrinkles, but she's just always there. Always, I see her petting a gray cat a lot. Come to think of it, that cat has been alive ever since I've been alive. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? I've never really thought about that. Maybe she just has multiple gray cats. I don't know.
Or maybe that gray cat is not necessarily a feline, just something that looks like it's cat form.
Like a miniature bear.
Like a miniature bear. I'm not quite sure I understand, but interesting.
Let's see if we can get the dwarf with red hair to join us, maybe at a table.
Yeah. Sort of motion, and They look up from their cup of tea and sort of go over and sit down next to you.
Hi, I'm Agnes, and this is Finric.
Hello, I'm Colt. I run Colt's Cloth. If you need
Colt's
any
Cloth?
sewing needs, I'm the person to see.
Oh, very good. Colt's Cloth. I actually have been repairing some costumes of late. I might need to stop by, and as you can see, my current outfit is probably destroyed.
Does need a bit of touching up, shall we say?
Yes.
Yes. And then sort of Skye walks over and she just starts gushing about how much she loves your dress fitting her. And sort of Colt looks back and forth and she's like, she's appreciative of the compliments that Skye is paying you.
Oh, so then Colt is female.
Ah, they are appreciative.
Ah, so Colt is non-gender specific.
That is my goal, although I am terrible at it.
Okay, they. All right, very nice. Okay, so
Do you ever work with let's say wondrous fabrics?
Hey, well, not that I've known. Afraid not.
More the day in day out, household textiles. Are there any like local specialties to Windbell that any weaves or patterns that either the area or you are known for?
Absolutely. What is it? What is the Scottish
a tartan.
tartan? Yes, we have the Windbell tartan, of course.
Windbell tartan.
Are you in the market for a new wardrobe?
I don't think maybe a wardrobe, but an item or two to freshen up the stale monk look that I tend to have going on.
Yes. I think I could do something.
I'd be curious what you think. Would be a good fit for me.
Feel free to come by anytime.
Will do.
Okay. Did you want to ask Skye about your sticks wrapped and tied string?
I did, Skye. I have. I found actually a couple things in that bag of holding. One is a necklace. It has this red pendant with clasped hands. I was curious if that meant anything to you.
She sort of holds her hand out. Do you give it to her?
Yeah, sure.
Yep, she's looking at it. It definitely has an arcane energy. This is no normal necklace, no normal bauble. More than that, I could try to identify it for you, but I would have to charge something.
What would you want for that?
For you, 80 gold.
Considering it cost 100 gold pearl, plus knowing how to do the spell, it's probably worth it.
I agree. Agnes, pay the woman.
So I will offer her gold, but I would also like for her to point out a trinket that she think would be good for me, because her previous one worked wonderfully.
Ah, okay. So you're going to look around the shop and try to purchase something else?
Yeah. So I'll give her the 80.
Okay. Would you? Are you saying you'd like to look around the shop, or you'd like her to pick something for you?
I think I would like for her to pick something for me. Now that she knows me a little bit better, what does she think that might suit me?
All right. So she accepts the 80 gold and she says, "It will take me some time to figure out what this does. I'm also quite tired. Let me...
Rest on it. That's okay.
Yeah. I have..." She sort of looks at you, Agnes, and she sort of looks down at your feet. And your what type of footwear were you wearing?
I'm probably wearing some kind of maybe a leather boot or a cloth boot, something that's pretty flexible.
Yeah, they definitely look. As you were in the Bucket Brigade, being one of the people closest to the building, you definitely sustained some damage, some scorch marks. There's some new holes in them that weren't there before, charring. And so she sort of takes a look at you and she's like, "Come to me tomorrow and I will have identified what this item is. But in the meantime, Agnes..." And she goes, sort of looks around and grabs a pair of boots off the shelf. And she comes back and she hands them to you. She's like, "These are very special boots, Agnes, but I think they fit your personality."
Okay.
She hands them to you. And as you put them on, you see sort of flash through your mind all the various animal tracks you've ever seen in your life flash through. And then it settles on one particular one, which you don't quite remember. Actually, wait. Give me a nature check.
Ooh, nature. We haven't used that one.
Yeah, I know. Let me see. Where is my
I use
nature?
some of these not used very often skills. And actually, you will have disadvantage on it because you still have a point of exhaustion.
Oh, I am still exhausted. 16 would be my disadvantage. The other one was 17.
Okay, yeah. You recognize this as a brown bear print.
Ooh.
Like
Okay.
a cat.
And she's watching you intently as this sort of, your eyes go glassy for a minute and you're like, and then you pop back out of it and she's like, "Whenever you walk somewhere, your prints will be that of the animal you just saw."
Oh,
Bear tracks?
I'm leaving bear tracks. That is pretty cool.
All
Skye,
right.
I had one more thing before we all rest.
Yeah.
The other item that fell out of the bag of holding are these two sticks tied together.
Oh, well, that's a fan. And she sort of pops one side of the holding, and it unfolds into this fan. And it is a sort of a beautiful watercolor of a sort of cliff face with a ocean seen below, and there's sort of the wind itself is rendered in this watercolor as it's like blowing over the sort of shore grasses near this sort of idyllic beach setting.
Well, you never know when a fan could be useful.
Or
Hi,
a nice.
That's true.
Yeah. Usually summer.
Whether it's been lately, doesn't even have to be summer.
Yeah. So, Agnes, perhaps we head over to Singing Sisters and gather our friends.
Yeah, make sure they haven't done anything too detrimental to our name.
Just getting for Drake.
All right, so let's flash back over to Singing Sisters. Twizzard and Paelias are still there, talking with Elnoth, the owner of the livery.
Oh. I would like to look around and see if I see the gray cat that Agnes was talking about.
You definitely do.
I run over to it and try to pick it up because I love cats.
All right, as you run over to it, give me a give me a dexterity, just a straight dexterity roll.
Can I add anything to that? My dexterity.
Dexterity 0.
Zip. That would be 10.
Well, the cat rolled a nat 1, so it's sort of like it had been watching you intently, and then it sort of started to like lick itself and like, you know, basically wasn't paying attention, and you just like in the middle of conversation, you just like spring up and run over and grab it under the arms, and immediately it's like it starts to like claw at you.
Do you have animal handling? No. Your animal handling is 0.
I didn't think I do. Do I have something to calm it down?
Do you have something you can comment down? I don't know. Do you?
I can conjure stuff. Like so I don't know how this works, but it's not my
Ball
spells.
string?
But I can I have minor conjuration,
Okay.
but like it's not a spell, right? Or is it? It's not in my spell section.
You can use your action to
Yeah, it's like an
conjure up an
action.
inanimate object no larger than 3 feet on one side and no more than 10 pounds. The object disappears after 1 hour when you use this feature again, or if it takes any damage.
Can I conjure something?
Why not? Ball
Sure.
string?
Can I do that?
What's the spell name again?
So it says minor conjuration.
He's part of the School of Conjuring.
Yes, you know the wizards can pick one of the spells or the schools.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I picked conjuration.
Sure.
I don't quite know how it works.
One of those online programs.
That's an action.
What was that, Paelias?
Was this one of those online programs?
Well, it's the D&D Beyond.
No. That you learned from the School of Conjuration.
Oh yes,
through an
my online degree. Yeah.
online
Yeah,
degree.
you went to the Phoenix, University of Phoenix School of Conjuration.
All
I
right.
mailed it
Yeah.
with
No, I
her.
love it. I love it. This is great. Yeah. Sure. What are you gonna conjure?
I'm conjuring a ball of string.
Perfect. So you're sort of holding the cat. Now let's see. Is this? It doesn't say whether it's verbal or somatic. So basically, it doesn't say if you have to use your hands. But let's just say it's verbal. So you sort of mutter this arcane thing, and the ball of string. Where does it appear?
Right in front of me,
Okay.
in my hand.
What
I don't know.
color?
It says
you have a
you
cat in
can
your
do
hands.
movement or an unoccupied space that you could see within
I
10
don't know how
feet.
busy my hands are with a cat, a squirmy cat.
They're
So.
pretty busy.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
so
could
right
like
in
drop
front
it
of
on the
you.
cat's head though.
Right on the cat's head.
And what color is it?
White.
All right. So this ball of white yarn. Boop, and the cat's like. It sort of bats it onto the ground. It looks at it intently.
What are you going to do?
And then I
You put the cat down?
try and reach. I kneel down with the cat and try and hold on to the cat and use the yarn and play with the cat with the yarn.
It's having fun. You're playing with a cat.
All right. I wasn't sure if that was working or not.
It's definitely interested in the ball of yarn.
Excellent. Good cat. Good kitty. That's all I wanted to do.
All right.
I feel like at some point I would see this and walk over to Wizard and say, "What are you doing, dude?"
Playing with this cat? You want to play?
Yeah, I do.
Finric, do you know what we're going to be walking into?
All right. You're both playing with a cat,
I am
and
pretending I did not.
that's when Finric and Agnes walk in.
Hi guys.
Hey,
What's happening?
It's just hey, yeah. What
Next round's on you guys.
going on?
yeah, next round's on you.
Last to come in the door.
Is this cat health code? Does it meet health code regulations?
It's
or
a
is
working
this-
cat. It's cleaning out all the mice.
Cat goes where the cat wants to go.
Yeah. Are you the cat police now?
So are we going to try to find out something about this cat?
Hey, cat, tell us what you know. Ooh, I don't think it's going to tell us anything.
It bats the ball
It
again.
looks like string.
Can you read the cat's mind? Let's use that spell.
Actually, there is a converse with animals, but I am not at the level yet to get that.
I don't have it.
How long does this spell that you've cast last?
It's an hour for the ball
Minor
of strength.
conjuration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, disappears after an hour.
All right.
When you use this feature again, or if it takes or deals any damage.
Right. I guess we could bring the cat over to Elsa's if we wanted to have a word with her about anything.
When you say the word Elsa, you see the cat and sort of look over at you, mid-bat. And then its demeanor sort of changes.
Oh.
Hey.
And it sort of walks up to Finric and brushes its hand against you, or its head against your hand.
Ooh, it likes you.
I guess I pet it back while also keeping a being firmly cognizant of where my amulet and my sending stone are.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Ooh. Anything else to give this cat?
Milk?
You know, he's asked for some fish bones or something.
Hey, barkeep, fish bones, please. Fish bones.
For the cat, is that your cat?
Who's my cat?
No, we just found it.
It's our cat now.
I mean, I've seen it. I feel like I've seen it around.
Like for the last 80 years.
Oh, that's Elsa's cat.
Ah.
I should have known it was someone else's cat.
What is it? What's her name? Gibbons? The cat sort of looks at her like, I don't remember. Sure, you can have it. And she sort of like goes back in the kitchen, comes back out, and like throws you like the remains of a filleted fish. Twizzle, give me a sleight of hand to see if you catch the fish she throws at you.
You think I can't catch a slimy fish?
I think it's gonna slap you in the face. Oh, he caught it.
Oh boy.
Sleight
yes,
of hand.
Yes, I did. 17.
All right, you catch the fish.
Way to use that. Good roll.
Why do I roll high?
I got a fish.
Nice.
All right, do you give it to the cat?
Mhm.
It leaves Finric and goes over to the fish.
Alright, you can't beat a fish.
Fickle cat.
I've got rations around. I think there's some jerky in there. But
As you guys are dealing with the Elnoth. Goodbye. Good luck with your horse. And she leaves.
Oh, bye, Elnoth. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Well, I think that
Yeah, it's probably at this point. It's probably only like 1:30, maybe close to 2 o'clock. It's not that. I mean, yeah.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Oh, that was like nighttime.
No,
Yeah.
no.
we went to Elsa's in the morning,
Yeah.
Well, that fire really...
and then we set it down on
Yeah,
fire.
you spent maybe about an hour or so like exploring the tunnel, maybe another hour around the manor. Then you were at Elsa's for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then the fire took an hour. I mean, yeah, it's not that late.
It's the problem when you get up to it so early. It's like,
What to do?
well, I guess I was gonna say, do we do a rest?
Or do you guys want to go exploring in the town? Any places we haven't been?
I mean, if we go to Elsa's, we just have to tell her, hey, listen, we kind of destroyed the office, as you probably know at this point. Real sorry about that. We weren't really able to save much. But do you want her to take a look at your skull?
the skull? You think out of all the stuff we grabbed, the skull is useful?
I don't know. We can tell her truthfully that that is something that we took out of there.
Oh, and give it to her? Like, hey, this is for you.
This is the only thing we were able to grab before it went up in flames.
I mean, I don't think it's that useful because I rolled a 1. So I feel like you just take whatever.
Maybe it's the opposite of useful.
Yeah, maybe it's unuseful.
That's a great observation.
I just feel that coming from you, who gave her the pyrite, the fool's gold,
Oh yeah,
kind of funny.
that's a nice trade-off. Hey, thanks for that gold. Here's your skull. Yeah, if we think we can get something out of her, we can go over there.
We don't really have any other real big plan right now, right?
Right, we can go to the church, we can go to Colt's Cloth, we can go to Leaf
Go back to Falreth. We can see if there's anything else at Falreth.
Oh, his house.
Yeah, we did that a lot already, huh?
I mean,
Yeah.
you were there literally this morning.
Are any of these places that we would go to open, or do we?
The church would be open.
Sorry,
The church.
Is there something at the church?
a night church.
No, it's 2 p.m.
It's 2 p.m. The Church of the Rose. It would be open.
The church woman seemed nice. She was
Yeah.
drinking
Check
in
it.
the middle of the day, but otherwise it seemed nice.
What is she again? A Texini?
Oh, I don't
Tabaxi.
A what?
Tabaxi.
Tabaxi, okay.
I can find a picture.
Aren't there church services only on to Alk?
It is Detal.
Oh,
It's the tall.
Oh,
Detal.
today's the tall.
Detal, yeah.
It's a holy day.
I didn't know it was a holy day to tall.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we can go to the Church of the Rose.
Yeah.
I think I might go back to the ringing bell to change my clothes.
Yes, I also might go somewhere else.
Are you
The
doing
whole people can go. I'm not very
go to church? What is our goal here? What are we trying to do?
I'm wondering, what do we do at a church?
Pray.
Yeah, mostly.
I mean, there might be a 4-box.
I feel like I need to spend some time with my my History of Windbell book.
Sure.
And
This is a fairly
What's that?
It's a cat person.
That's fairly what she looks like.
All right.
got it.
Let me see if I can give credit to the person who made that image. Why are you so terrible, internet? Well, wow, this is just terrible.
Did you just Google cat person?
Ween draws furries. Thank you, Ween draws furries. Yeah. Come on, focus. Oh god, sorry.
There you go.
There we go. So,
You got a shield?
this cat person you could easily imagine having a shield. She looks pretty tough.
Okay. She looks like a fighter, huh? She's older though, right? She's like in her, 180s.
Tabaxis have, I believe, the same sort of lifespan as humans. She's maybe like, if you had to guess, well, give me a perception check. What did you notice?
We're waiting for that, isn't it?
Well, it's retroactive perception check.
I got a 4. Oh no, a 1. Oh yeah, it's a 1.
Yeah, she. You're not really sure how old she is.
Well, I got higher on my D10 than I did on my D20. Or is this 12? What is this? 12. Yeah.
All right, what do you folks would like? What would you like to do?
Ringing bell. I'm gonna read.
Oh, I
Okay.
thought we were going to Elsa's.
All right, Agnes
Well,
is going.
You're the one
Yeah.
who's friend for the cat.
Oh,
We can burn some more stuff down.
Yeah.
All right, Agnes goes to the ringing bell. The cat watches you leave, but does nothing. You guys going to the church?
Okay.
all right, sure. To the church.
You don't have to go to church.
I don't have anything else to do.
Really have nothing better to do.
Well, we're exhausted, so we're gonna have like.
I can read my scroll.
Yeah, do you want to investigate your scroll?
Go to church, read the scroll.
Yeah.
Which scroll did you take?
The one with the bloody mouth or the red mouth?
All right. Are you opening it? Or are you reading it here? Where are you reading it?
Oh, I just figured I'd do it in the church.
Okay.
While these guys
sure.
poking around or doing whatever. Hopefully
Yeah,
it's
so
not.
you folks exit the Singing Sisters. You make your way up the hill, up the street. To your left is this sort of green sward of lawn. You come upon the Church of the Rose, and it's a compass rose that's sort of set in the double doors. You go up, and you notice there is a graveyard off to the side. And you sort of open up the doors to this church. And while it is basically the only church you've seen in this town, is not huge. I would say it's a modest building. But as you enter in, kaboom, doors boom open, and the building is basically effectively empty. There's one person sitting in a pew off to the side, sort of quietly praying. And up at the front, you see a sort of the front of the church, but off to the side, you see the same tabaxi woman that you saw before.
Oh.
She sort of looks up as you come in.
Hello again.
Ah, the man of the cloth.
Yeah, I thought we'd come check it out. Check out your place.
Wonderful,
Hi.
wonderful.
These are my friends. You know Twitter. This is Finric. He's a monk.
I see. Hey, Tim, can you get more in frame toward Erin? There you go. Yes. Well, welcome. I wasn't expecting to see you, to be honest, but we are all welcome in the place of worship of the Dawn Father, and he looks upon you. I am Anne Birch. I oversee this chapel, and you are welcome.
Thanks. Did I never get your name before?
I don't believe we exchanged names.
Sorry. That was rude of me.
That rude dwarf friend of yours sort of turned me off, I'll be honest. But now that you're here,
that
I suppose
guy
I
right
should
there?
have them all.
What's that guy?
I'm Anne. Who are you?
Hi, Anne. I'm Paelias.
Nice to meet you. And your monk friend?
This is Finric.
Hi, Finric.
Hold on. Who is this person? How do we know about a really dwarf friend?
This was the cat person.
Oh, this is
in
the cat
Singing
person.
Sister.
We prefer tabaxi.
Rude. How about charming?
Do you prefer height challenged, Mr. Dwarf?
People like shorter men.
Alright, well, ignore him. He's rude all the time.
I'm gonna go sit with you.
I can tell that you've traveled. What brings you all to Windbell? We discussed a bit of your...
Exploits?
Yes. Exploits seems like the accurate word. You mentioned you go around saving towns.
When we can. This is actually our first.
Yeah.
I
First.
see.
We have developed a bit of a taste for it. We came through originally with Sir Bryant and his daughter to help them get to their ancestral keep, and through a series of misadventures, we ended up on the wrong side of Falreth, and through the course of that, sort of uncovered that he was an evil wizard that kept a number of people under his thumb, and we weren't able to stand for that. So here we are.
Fascinating. Now, you said a keep in Sir Bryant. His last name wouldn't be Galdinger, would it?
It would be. Do you've heard of him?
Well, I've certainly heard the name Galdinger before. We have a few in the cemetery.
Oh yes, I'm sure you do. What do you know of the Galdinger clan? He's a bit of a how shall I say it? He's a bit unknown to us.
Ah, I see. I mean, what can I tell you? They haven't been here in many years. I mean, gosh. I don't think there's been a Galdinger in Windbell since I've been here. And I took over the church, say, it's probably coming up on 25 years. And certainly the ones in the cemetery have been gone longer than that.
I know before we came up here, the keep was actually under Morgo's control.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. There were a lot of rumors about the keep being haunted. I didn't really pay any mind. To be honest, I didn't really believe them. The rumors, that is. But I could see that a chap like Morgo could have taken it, as it were. Honestly, it's from what I've never been there myself, but from what I've heard, it's a bit run down.
A bit, yes. It is. So Falreth and Morgo, I take it that they were not tithing members of the Church of the Rose.
No, neither of them. I can't recall either of them ever setting foot in this building.
They did seem to have their own thing. Do you know much about their beliefs and?
I mean, Falreth believes in power and wielding it and being an ass, but and frankly, I don't think Morgo believes in anything except for the hard clink of gold.
Money talk?
Certainly not anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Wait. Not you.
Yeah.
A small halfling girl comes in through a door, and she says, "Oh, excuse me, miss. Oh, that's all right. Come in, Bridget. I was just gonna see if the preparations for evening mass were ready, or if I should prepare the preparations for evening. Oh my! I didn't know you had guests. I'm sorry. I'll go." And she sort of hurries back out the door. Oh, that's Bridget, my assistant. Don't mind her. She's a bit shy.
Nice girl.
Well, you're certainly welcome to stay. We'll be beginning evening mass in about a couple of hours, if you'd like.
No, I'm just gonna go sit in a pew. And,
Yeah. Let's do some.
All right, you guys go sit in a pew. She excuses herself and goes through the same door that Bridget came out of. Twizzler, did you want to look at your scroll?
Yes.
So you unravel it, and the sort of the garishly painted mouth was sort of the seal that was, wax seal that was keeping it closed. And as you unroll it, you recognize arcane script and instructions and sort of elements that might be necessary to use this spell were you to learn it. And so you know that if you took a few hours and had the sort of elements that are required, you could learn the spell and add it to your spell book.
Interesting.
Can I tell what it does?
At this point, no. You would have to basically study it. It's like seeing you recognize the script, the arcane script that the spell is written in, but it would be like translating it basically. You'd have to expend some time to do it.
Do I need certain components to do it, or do I just need time?
You would need some amount of components. You sort of that's sort of at the top of it. It describes that, and you see the runes for honeycomb and jade dust at the top of it.
Ooh.
Bring to hell.
Yeah, it would probably you would have to purchase this. You do not have it with you.
I might be able to find some honeycomb. I saw some bear tracks outside where we were. I don't know about the jade dust, though.
Fair enough.
Duly noted. All right. How's everyone else doing in church here?
Oh, it's just, it's kind of boring.
You guys are just taking in the quiet. It's very quiet. The one other human who was praying had actually gotten up and left. And so you're sort of in the large sanctuary of the church. As you look up, you notice the stained glass compass rose is letting in the beams of the sun. So it's facing south. And as the sun is past its zenith, but it is shining through, and you notice a tranquility comes over you, and the sort of dust motes dance in the beams of light as they sort of trace themselves across the floor. And you realize you could spend hours here, sort of just watching the sun's light pass over the front of the church if you wanted to.
Dust motes, huh?
That's right.
All right. I start grabbing some of the motes just in case of jade dust motes.
So you're like just trying, and every time you move your hand, it sort of creates swirls in this sunbeam. But yeah, no, that's not going to get you anything.
Is there a map on the floor?
Is there a what?
A map on the floor of the church.
Are you sending this via sending stone to people there?
I was actually going to ask. I wanted to look at the light that the compass rose was casting on the ground and see if it was trending towards or away any features.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is a compass rose? Is it a rose or is it a compass?
It's north, south, east, west, and northeast, southeast.
It's a compass.
The standard image of a compass, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So it's not a rose.
Basically the rose. A compass rose is the north, south, east, west, and any intermediary directions. However, the ornateness, right? Is it a fancy rose, or is it just a plain plus? Is it
Okay.
And this is a stained glass compass rose, and it's very ornate. It is a centerpiece of this church.
It's a little glary. Can you tilt it? It was a little.
I'm going to do it on paper instead.
Yeah. So where's it pointing?
It's not. So you're talking about the sunbeam? If someone wants to investigate the ground near where the sunbeam is falling, you could.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, make Wizard do it. He's got good investigational skills.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what neat.
I'm going to investigate the ground.
All right.
Ooh.
Plus your
Consider
five.
it investigated. Oh,
Nice.
What was the number? Did
21.
you say 21?
21.
Well,
All
that's
right.
plus investigation.
Oh, yeah, that's plus my investigation.
Oh, but you're exhausted.
Oh, I'm exhausted, though. So, whatever the...
You have to roll again.
Oh yeah, you have to do it at disadvantage.
Oh, yeah, I'm done for
6 plus 5 is 11.
it. Okay, 11. Never mind. Not as slick as I thought.
Wow. We really thought you had it there for a second.
One eye was closed.
You thought something and you're like, no, that's not right.
No.
No.
You notice that there's basically the equivalent of a sundial is carved onto the floor of the church. And as the light moves across it, it is the sort of focal point of that is at the hour of the day.
Wait, were we helping him? Could we help him investigate?
Yeah? I don't see why you guys couldn't investigate too, right?
It's a sundial. I don't know how much more you need.
It's a sundial.
Oh, okay.
Wait. What time is it?
I'm gonna say it's getting close to 3. You've been there. You've been there longer than you thought.
All right.
The daylight savings.
No daylight savings in Centralia.
There's no moon. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but there's no moon.
There's no moon. That's true. The nights are very dark, but you can see the stars very well.
Well, perhaps we'll come back here, but if
Yeah,
not,
it's probably nothing.
say again.
It's probably nothing.
Yeah.
It's probably not the way to get to the next stone.
Do we want to go investigate the graveyard?
What's in the graveyard?
I don't know. We might
The
go.
Galdingers.
We might go on a gravestone and reveal a staircase.
I feel like the compass is trying to tell us something. I feel like we should follow the compass.
And go north?
I don't know. But we should figure out what the compass is trying to tell us.
The time.
But it's supposed to point us in the direction of... The compass that we're looking for is supposed to point us in the direction of an island with a stone on it.
Ooh, I got it. I pull out the compass I'm holding,
Yes.
Oh.
and I look at it.
You see the needle sort of swing around and point right at your chest.
And I remember this thing's useless trash, and I put it back.
Wait,
Alright.
we were gonna learn how to reset it. Do we have to go back to?
I think it just has to poke one of you guys and draw
But we
blood.
didn't need to reset it because we used the scrying glass to find Falreth.
Yeah, we paid her for nothing, basically.
Yeah.
But-
And we don't have the island.
you never ended up paying her, although Agnes did give her the dress. But yeah,
That's payment. I had a dress, and now I don't.
that's fair. That's fair.
I did have a sidebar with Mr. Twizzard at some point and tell him that I could give him one of the pearls in
Okay.
exchange for this compass so that I would be able to find Mr. Twizzard whenever.
I don't know if that's good.
He's not okay with that.
I might.
Find my friend.
I might.
Wait, so, wait, did you make the trade?
We just had a sidebar. I don't know if we decided. Did we decide?
We didn't officially do that.
We didn't officially do it.
All right,
Next
fair enough.
time we see each other, we can.
I did not give my consent.
How large is the compass
The compass that
On the
Twizzard has?
that Twizzard has? Yes.
I don't.
It's about the size of a deck of cards.
Cool. Okay.
But I think that the compass that is mentioned in the logbook is one that they found. Or I think we might have to read that last page again.
Let's just read the whole logbook. I don't know that we've ever read the rest of it.
You
No,
do,
but we
yeah.
do have it
You
now.
retrieved the logbook from Falreth's bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
big book.
Well, then, do we? It seems like we've got a lot of stuff to read.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get Unseen Servant to read some of it?
Yeah.
Just grease it. It'll go faster with the grease.
Speaking of reading, let's
book.
while you guys are figuring out what you're gonna do, let's flash over to Agnes. So Agnes, what did you want to read?
I wanted to sit down in a comfy spot, maybe on my bed in the room at the ringing bell, and get into some clean clothes, maybe wash myself up, and read the history of Windbell and its. I can't remember the full title.
The Illustrious History and Tidings of Windbell, The Southern Jewel of Oxnard, by Ronald Galdinger, $24.97.
Is that the price?
No, $24.97 DS. That's the year it was written.
Sounds like it was the price.
Bargain at any cost.
Actually, I think it was worth a couple gold.
Yeah, you paid something for it.
Gold.
So as you read through it, you spend you're flipping through it. It's a bit. You can tell that this was written by someone who. You get the feeling that this person really wanted Windbell to sound good. It extols the virtues of it, fishing. It's the tourism capital of Oxnard. It was established in 1223 DS. Denk Galdinger, esteemed member of the community. He came originally in 1500 DS. He brought it to fame. It mentions the natural hot springs to the northwest. The keep as a diamond in the crown of this illustrious town, and as it sits on the edge of the cliff, overseeing the all of the ocean. It just goes on and on about talking about the wonderful food at the markets and the taverns, of which there are many, and how the fishermen come back every day with their just boats overflowing, and you're just like reading through this, and you're like, really, is this town this great?
Well, it could have gone downhill since 2497.
Yes, it certainly could have.
Falreth, I'm sure, didn't do much to help.
There is no mention of Silas Galdinger, which is the name that you saw in the Bounty's Edge logbook.
All right. But it did mention something about hot springs to the northwest. That might be worth looking
Yeah, definitely check those out.
into, just as a new place to travel to. Not that I'm doing that right now, but
Yeah, no,
I'll
that's
tell
right.
my when they get back. All right, I don't know. I guess what I was originally looking for was any information alluding to the amulets.
Give me an investigation check.
13 and 3, that's 16. 8 and 3 is 11. So 11 if I'm still exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, you flipped through it. You sort of read about how delicious the food at this inn is, and you didn't notice really anything that really felt like it was about and it certainly wasn't mentioned outright. Nothing about the amulets.
Okay. All right. So we do know that the children's folk book did mention some oddness about the Minstrel Hills, you said?
The Mistral Hills, yes.
Mistral.
Yes,
Hill.
those are the sort of low-lying hills to the north, where the secret passage from underneath Kippen Manor led you out. But also, you could just walk basically north of the town, and you'd be walking. There are some farmsteads out there and things like that before you get to the Mistral Hills, but it's an easy walk. It's probably only a couple hours. I mean, you walked through the tunnel, probably 30, 40 minutes both ways, and that got you into them basically.
Okay. Would the hot springs be accessible by going through the Mistral Hills, or would you have to go another route?
You flip back to the part about the hot springs, and they are about a day and a half travel. And in fact, it mentions a stop near the hot springs, sort of a collection of farmsteads that have a big sheep herding industry. And from the description of the town, you kind of discern that this might be describing what turned into Bellwether Glen.
Okay. All right, we might have to head back up to Bellwether Glen at some point. I'll visit my cousin.
That's right. Are you three others still at the church, or did you?
I had suggested we check out the cemetery, but we don't have to.
Check out what?
The
cemetery.
Oh yeah, okay. We can go to the cemetery.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys, basically doing I guess everyone give me an investigation check. What are you looking for? Or is there it would still be at disadvantage, unfortunately.
I think I mean, at this point, I feel like we're just looking for the Galdinger name on the tombstones.
Got it.
And so I'm not sure how high a roll I need. But
No, not very high at all. Let's see how long it takes, though.
7. Sorry, +1, 8.
What do you?
No, sorry, I thought I had a 1. Wrong thing. 7.
What about others?
You need mine?
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. I need everybody.
I got a 4.
Okay. Solid.
I get investigator.
What was yours, Wizard?
15.
Okay. So as you folks are looking around, Twizzard, you come across a tombstone, Galdinger, with the Galdinger name, and you sort of look around it, and you find a couple. So there are, in the sort of same area, you see Silas Galdinger, you see Denk Galdinger, and you see Ronald Galdinger, and they're sort of in a bit of a cluster, as it were.
I push on each of the tombstones.
You push on each of the tombstones, okay?
Yes. Anything happen?
Nothing happens.
Excellent.
What are the dates on them?
What are the dates on them? Ooh, that's a good question. I think I actually have those, believe it or not.
Is it just so old they're worn by time?
Chris, you're looking good there.
Where the heck do I have that?
Definitely an improvement.
Nice. So Silas, born 2,227, died 2,273. Ronald, born 2,455, died 2,515. And a Bryant Galdinger the First, born 2,495. Wait, why doesn't that have a death? Hold on a second.
Because he hasn't died yet.
No. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Yeah, it's Aleric, Aleric Galdinger. No, never mind. Yeah, there's no death date. It's very odd.
Odd. Yes.
Maybe it's unknown.
Maybe. Well, that's it for this cemetery.
What were we looking for?
I don't know. We were told by the talking sending stone to go and look there.
So sorry. So it's Silas, Denk,
Denk.
Cool.
Ronald. He's the one who wrote the book.
And Bryant the First.
Yes, and there's no death date for Bryant the First.
Got it. Cool.
No females?
Nope, not that you can see.
Maybe they weren't buried with these people, or maybe they never shared their life with anyone.
Or they had manly names, and that's them.
Nah.
So looking around, you do see other tombstones that sound at least like they would. It's not a tradition, for instance, to bury only the males, right? It is definitely odd that there are no. Infer what you would from that, but there are no females buried there.
Where are the women?
Where have all the flowers gone?
Here's just women with bow-legged women.
Oh, I think we all need a long rest now. I think I'd probably fall asleep in my bed reading that book.
Sure. Yeah, you're definitely exhausted.
Are there any jade dust stores between the cemetery and the hotel, the tavern?
From what you know of this town, you could probably get jade dust at the Winking Owl, Elsa's, or perhaps Sauvoy's apothecary.
Ooh, I'll try there before Elsa's.
However,
It's
probably
very
closed.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's fine. That's fine. I just meant next time.
What was the other thing you needed?
honeycomb.
Yeah, honeycomb.
Is that Wheat Bottoms Market?
Most
But
likely.
that's probably close too.
Say it.
That's close too. How long have we been in the cemetery?
It's like their day of worship. It's
Oh.
their day of rest.
Let's see. Yeah, with a 15, you probably were searching. I mean, it's not a huge place. Between that and the time you were, it's probably like 4:30, 5 o'clock. The sun's
Well, we
coming
could take
down,
a
but it's
very
not.
long rest.
What's that?
We could take a very long rest.
Yeah.
You could take a very long rest. You've had a hard day. You fought a fire. Is that the cat?
Is that bad?
up.
The cat followed us?
It came up to you while you were searching the graveyard.
Cat's keeping an eye on us.
Oh.
Well, we're keeping an eye on the cat. Who's watching who?
I think it's watching.
You got to get a familiar, and you can send it to spy on.
I do have that spell. I have.
You know,
I have
Do you-
find familiar.
Can you make it familiar?
I never cast it yet.
Do it.
You do need the components for it. Again, in
Oh.
general, I'm not a stickler for components, but if they cost a gold value, I am, because that's there for balancing purposes. So, I believe you
10
need some.
gold
You need
charcoal.
You need like incense costing at least a certain amount or something. I believe.
It's charcoal.
I need 10 gold worth of charcoal.
Well, it says 10 gold worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs that must be consumed in a fire.
There you
I'm gonna
go.
go from Falreth's fireplace.
It has been consumed by a fire already, so in a brass brazier.
I just need charcoal.
Brazier? Brazier.
I think it's brazier. I don't even know.
And
A brass
for-
thing to make fire in. One of those brass things you make fire in.
Yeah.
Alright.
And how long? Oh, it lasts for 1 hour.
The making of it lasts 1 hour, yes. And then you.
Oh, how long does the familiar last?
Oh, until it's killed, and then you can make it again.
Oh,
Really?
awesome.
And you can poof it in and out of existence too.
Oh, I definitely need to do that.
And then you can also put your consciousness into it and see and hear with its eyes, but that makes you deaf and dumb to the world around you.
Ooh, I need to go shopping.
Yeah, you need to go shopping.
Yeah.
If you haven't cast Find Familiar and you have that spell, that's an awesome spell.
Alright.
That's definitely worth it.
It says you can take a form of a crab. Someone's
Yeah, I get to pick it, right? What if it comes out and it sucks and I summon like a blue whale? It just flops there like.
No,
Okay.
you determine what form it takes. You can even spend time to re-change it into something else if you want to.
Does it have to be a real creature? Can I do like half monkey, half bird?
Ooh.
Well, and everyone's gonna know that it's not a real creature. It was probably a familiar.
Fine.
Let's see. I have Lego rats, chickens, spiders, dog, bat.
Got any lizards?
I don't have any lizards. I have a snake.
Ooh, snake.
Might be able to get a chameleon or something like that.
Let's see. Common familiars. Yeah, cats. You could get a flying like a bat or a hawk.
Hawk.
That could be cool.
That might be cool.
what's dangerous to a cat?
A vet.
Water.
Yeah. Acme robot dog.
I thought I saw a pretty cat.
It says rat and weasel are options, but I feel like a cat would have the upper hand there. So
Yeah, hawk might not be
I was gonna say hawk or
hard to try.
Do you think I could get charcoal dust at Savoy's apothecary?
Probably get all this.
Absolutely.
Herbs, incense.
Ooh, alright.
I mean, if you're
Next
looking,
time
I mean, honestly, you're at a church. They have things to burn incense and stuff at a church.
Ooh, I head over to the church fireplace and I grab handfuls and put in a bag.
So as you go into the church, you can see that there's some other townspeople sort of filtering in, and you see Anne up at the front, and Bridget is sort of greeting people as they come in, and sort of, and then so you sort of, you look around, And you do notice that they do have some incense burners up at the front. And in fact, Anne is about to light one.
And I go up and I say, hey there, lady.
Oh, will you be joining us for Mass?
You better say yes if you want that stuff for free.
Yes, of course.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Can I possibly borrow some of your incense here, your charcoal incense?
Well, charcoal.
Before Mass? Mass is going to start shortly.
Yeah, no, I meant like after, whatever's left.
Oh, are you planning on doing some praying by yourself later?
Praying by myself. Yep.
Meditating.
Give me a give me a persuasion check.
Oh, I'm exhausted too, aren't I?
Yeah.
All checks. Oh, this is bad news. Oh my goodness. Plus 0. Okay, so yeah, that's a 1.
She just like looks at you like, after the reaction, after coming on to her and being a little skeezy to her earlier, she's just like, you could purchase some incense and I could maybe let you borrow a vessel in which to burn it, assuming you would bring it back. How much incense are you looking for?
Well, I mean, if it's 10 gold pieces worth of charcoal, incense,
I don't want to say
herbs.
10 gold
Hold on.
pieces
I'm asking the DM. Would that be 10 total, or is it 10 charcoal, 10 incense, 10 herbs?
I would say that you could purchase the components from her for 10 gold. I mean, yeah, I think that would be everything.
Do like 10 gold pieces.
Yeah,
worth of
well, tell her
charcoal.
the things that you need, and that you would be willing to, buy 10 gold pieces worth of these 3 things.
I need charcoal, incense, and some herbs, and something to burn it in. And I will give you 9 gold.
Would you perhaps consider a donation of 15 gold to the church?
What? 15 gold? I say sure, and I turn around and use my conjure spell and create some fake gold coins.
Oh my god.
Wait a minute.
Terrible.
How often can you do
You're
that?
going over a church.
You're going to hell.
You're going to hell.
I don't only have so much money here.
You have plenty of money.
You only have so many spell slots.
and furs.
The conjuring didn't seem to take a spell slot.
No, I just took an action.
Yeah.
You have plenty of gold. Just give her the 15.
All right, fine.
It
I would
doesn't say how often you can do that. It just says that it takes an action.
I feel like this would have worked, but I would just give this cat person 15 gold.
Your sending stone is like buzzing a lot.
Yeah, it's non-stop going off in my pocket. You have to sit on.
You're silencing it.
It's like the annoying good angel over my shoulder.
All right, so you you begrudgingly count out one by one 15 gold pieces,
I take the smallest gold.
and she sort of looks at you as you're doing it, and she like rummages around in sort of a little back shelf area, and she hands you a pouch and a rather old and dinged up brass brazier. That's how you pronounce it. And she's like,
15.
do return it when you're finished. May the Dawn Father shine on you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
So
Take
you
that stuff.
leave. You see Paelias and Finric sort of hanging out near the entrance to the graveyard waiting for you. Do you folks head back to the ringing bell?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So you
Can't do
head
anything
back.
else.
You head back to the ringing bell, exhausted, having saved the town. Dagus gives you some hearty stew. You inquire as to Agnes, and Dagus said she went up a while ago. Galdinger and Lily are asleep as well. And you folks enjoy your meal, and then if there's nothing else anyone would like to do, you retire for the night. And having bested Falreth and saved the town from a fire, I'm going to say that you all level up.
Yay!
And we'll see everyone next Friday for the next exciting episode of BND.
Ooh, this is exciting.
So,
What level are we at now?
what's that?
What level are we at now?
You will be
4.
at level 4.
Oh my god, we've been at level 3 this whole time.
Yeah.
We've been at level 3 since we started, pretty much.
Well, it's only been 8 days or 9 days. So.
9 days? You've been 9 days to level 4? Holy moly. That's 9 weeks.
Wait, let me find. Let's see. Yeah, this is actually the 8th day from when
Wow.
you started, from when you met Cindy, basically in Bellwether Glen.
Who's Cindy?
Cindy was the girl that Agnes and Twizzard saved from the spider amulet.
We started at level 1. You guys came in at level 3 because we had become level 3. So you just started at the same level that we were when we all met.
So from level 1 to level 3 happened really quickly, and then level 3 to level 4 took forever.
So like 8 days.
Yeah.
Agnes and Twizzard, I think you guys actually, I might have started you at level 2. Long story short, that's what level you're at. You're at 4.
How do you change the level on this thing?
What's that?
Yeah.
You go to your little anvil or go to your picture. There should be something.
There was edit character
D&D
level.
Beyond, yes. Excellent resource.
Edit character.
But there's a
And then
character
off
level.
to the right-hand side, there's a little drop-down that says level.
Yeah, it's really
And then
helpful.
you can-
It'll help. It'll automatically increment your health and your. It'll give you. Basically, everyone can do different things at different levels, and it'll put a little either an exclamation point or yellow or something to sort of show you where you need to do things. But enjoy doing that, everyone, and we will see the internet and you folks back here next Friday for another exciting episode. Bye.